Now, there are a ton of ways that you can make money online making content. Perhaps two of the most prominent are blogging and YouTube videos. While one relies mostly on written content, the other one depends on how much video you can produce. Well, I'm Michael with WriterSanctuary, and today we want to take a look at blogging versus YouTube videos and which one you should pick. Now, before we get started, you can hit the like button to help the channel out, and for more videos about blogging, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always hit me up on social media or use the contact form on WriterSanctuary.com's website. Okay, so when you're comparing blogging with YouTube videos, you need to focus more on where your target audience is, because not everybody consumes the same kind of content. One person might find value in a blog post, while another might find more value in a video. For example, the Buy Me a Coffee video that I have on WriterSanctuary.com's website has way more visitors than the YouTube counterpart. And on the flip side of that, on the AdSense video that I have on this channel gets far more attention than its blog counterpart on the website. Which goes to show that it depends on what people are looking for and which platforms are going to be the best. When it comes to blogging and making YouTube videos, both of them have quite a few similarities. For one thing, success relies on content. If you don't have content on either one, you're not going to be successful either way. And the type of content you create also matters. For example, 44% of the videos that are informative and instructional are far more engaging. This includes things like how-tos and DIYs. In second place would be entertainment, and then everything else after that. The title and the thumbnails are also similar between blogs and YouTube videos. For one thing, the titles obviously are going to be the same, but when it comes to thumbnails, you can kind of view that as your featured image on a blog post. And if you don't have the right image to go along with the context, it's not going to matter much. And then you can compare things like the video's description against the meta description and the intro of your article in a blog. Both of them do pretty much the same thing, tell people what the post or video is about, and they can make up their mind whether they want to consume that content. And lastly, we have watch time versus on-page time. Both of them are a measure to see how long somebody stays on that piece of content. So like with YouTube, the watch time on the videos matters, but in a blog post, it's the on-page time. And between my videos on WriterSanctuary for the YouTube channel and for the blog, they are roughly around the same, about 4 minutes. Again, this also depends on the type of content you create and whether somebody wants to read it and how long it is. But what about some of the differences between blogging and YouTube videos? Well, being on camera is a bit more personal and helps people connect with the creator, as opposed to a blog post where all it is just text and maybe an author bio. Unfortunately, it also means you have to add a little bit more flair and panache on a YouTube video in order to keep someone's attention. Like if you add random images or sound effects or background music, stuff like that, it takes a lot more work in a video to keep someone's attention as it does a blog post. And although videos are growing every year in usage, there is still 77% of the people on the internet still read a blog of some kind. So you can't say blogging is dead because 77% of everybody online, that's billions of people. Another big difference between YouTube videos and blogs is the editing time. Like when I write a blog post for myself, let's say I do maybe a 1,200 word article, it probably takes me about an hour and a half. That's including images and finding all the stats and making links and all the good social media fun stuff that I do with them. So it takes me, I'd say, about 90 minutes. A YouTube video, on the other hand, covering the exact same topic with virtually the same content will take me closer to 3 to 4 hours simply because of the editing process. And mostly that's because I have to do a lot of jump cuts because I kind of suck in front of a camera. Now I'm sure there's a lot of people that could probably crank them out way faster than that. And I've been kind of experimenting with doing single shot videos on YouTube or on my gaming channel. But I don't know how well they're working because it's kind of a small channel anyway. And I'm fighting the urge not to go back and edit the shit out of that last piece because I messed up quite a bit. I did it again. So you can see why I do a lot of jump cuts. But on the other hand, the audience on YouTube videos are often far more engaged than on a blog post, meaning that I get far more comments on the content that I create on YouTube than I do on the blog. I get a few blog comments here and there, but that pales in comparison to what I get on YouTube, which shows me that people who watch videos are far more interactive. Now, when comparing blogging versus YouTube videos, it is far easier to monetize a blog than your YouTube channel. For instance, YouTube has a lot of restrictions when it comes to when you can monetize your channel with AdSense. You have to have 4,000 hours of watch time within a 12-month period and have over 1,000 subscribers. With a blog post, you just have to have 15 decent-sized articles that are probably written within the past 30 days, and Google will go ahead and put you into AdSense. So you can literally start adding AdSense to your blogs inside of a month. I can't say that for everybody, but that's how long it took me to do any one of my blogs. It doesn't even matter if people visited the site as long as there's content on it. And when it comes to affiliates, you can add links to both your YouTube channel and your blog post. So you can make a little bit of money that way. I haven't experimented with that yet, but then again, I cover a lot of stuff that I can't get affiliate accounts for. What about sponsored blog posts and videos? Well, I've come across a few of those for both so far, and I haven't done any simply because the person who wanted to pay me for content really didn't match WriterSanctuary at all. Like one company wanted to pay me, I think it was $50 to do a sponsored blog post on WriterSanctuary just to mention their social buying process. Essentially, you can buy followers, likes, and whatnots. But WriterSanctuary doesn't believe in buying social proof, so that was not going to be a good fit. Because I will not sponsor something that goes against everything I stand for. It's like there was one company that wanted to give me a free version of their software. It's video editing software, and wanted me to push off to you guys. But this is a writing channel, so giving you guys access to video editing software is kind of dumb. So obviously they didn't spend any time going through my channel and seeing what kind of content I create. In case you're wondering, I use Premiere. My point is that you can get sponsored posts for both of them fairly easy as long as you market yourself well. Like on WriterSanctuary.com, I have a contact form, and in the drop-down you can select sponsored posts. When it comes to the YouTube videos, I have my email address on the channel itself so I can get contacted that way. Even though I don't really mention that I'll do sponsored videos, people still contact me anyway. So there is one more point that I want to bring up, is that it does cost a little bit more to get started in blogging than it does for YouTube videos, at least if you want to do it right. Because with a blog, if you want to own your own domain and have full control over everything you can do, you would want to get a web host. For instance, I use Green Geek's web hosting, and I have unlimited domains, so I can put as many blogs as I want on it, and it's a wicked fast server. But between the hosting and the different domain names that I have, I spend upwards of close to $160 a year. Now, $160 up front is kind of a hefty price tag, but if you're focused really hard on blogging, you can definitely make it back inside the first year. Like right now, all my blogs bring in enough to pay for the hosting and everything about 3 times over. So nothing's coming out of my pocket, but that's one of the biggest difference with YouTube. All it costs is whatever webcam you have, or you can even use your phone. So when it comes to making YouTube videos, it's far, far cheaper. Unless you want to make a professional, then you have to start diving into better video equipment, microphones, lighting, stuff like that. But to get started, all you need is a phone. Now you can kind of get started with free blogging platforms like WordPress.com or Tumblr or Blogger or any of those other ones. The problem with those platforms is that you're restricted on what you can monetize. You can't add every plugin you want, and it's a far more challenge to adjust anything on the website. It's like with Wix, you don't really control everything in Wix. I have full access to my root directory. I can make coding changes if I want. I can do whatever. Nothing stops me. But some of these other free platforms, you can't do that. So if you want to make money and start building a decent sized blog, you'll definitely want to get your own web host. And that's where the big difference in cost is. But one thing I want to bring up about blogging and YouTube videos is that there's nothing to stop you from doing both. In fact, traffic is often shared back and forth between my channel and my blog. Doing YouTube videos and blog posts let you spread your reach a little bit farther to engage a much larger audience. Because people who watch YouTube videos probably don't read blog posts, and vice versa. Or at least don't know that your content exists. And looking at the analytics, when it comes to social media, I get far more visitors from the YouTube channel than I do from Facebook or Twitter. And it does take quite a bit of my time, at least, to do both the YouTube video and blog posts. Like there's days where I'll spend 6 hours between doing both just to get one blog post and one video out. Which is kind of a bummer because that's on top of having to do my client work, which usually takes up most of my day anyway. Which is why sometimes my videos get out at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. But when it comes to comparing blogging and YouTube videos, it really depends on the person. Every creator is going to be different. Some people are going to be able to write better while others will be able to crank out videos in their sleep. And it all relies on the amount of effort that you put into it. Writing one blog post a week or doing one YouTube video a week isn't really going to make much of a difference. You have to consistently create quality content people want to read or watch. So as a creator, which one would you rather do, YouTube videos or blogs? Personally, I like doing both, but I know for me, blogging is far easier than doing the YouTube videos. Like I said before, it takes me an hour and a half to crank out a blog post, while its counterpart in video form will take up to 4+ hours. But that's only because I'm a writer. In the grand scheme of things, my YouTube channel is still fairly new. So in the end, it really just depends on user preference and what kind of stuff you want to put out there. Because there is an audience for both watching and reading your content. You just need to find them. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos about blogging, freelance writing, WordPress, or Textbook, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I think it's going to do it for me today. I'll see you on Monday.